Okay, so update now. It's been about a week or two since I got access to Bubble's pre-release to their pre-release of their native mobile platform. And it took about a day for me to realize it's just not going to work. This pre-release to the actual thing is super buggy, and it's not ready. Like they were not ready to launch the product, or even to build products on the pre-release. They were kind of using the pre-release to like fish out all the problems that they have, and so now they've got loads of problems they have to fix. Unfortunately, a lot of the problems that they have to fix impact the ability that I had to make um, my app. So after about a day, I realized that's not going to work. And so I've put things on pause for the last 2 weeks. I've just been sitting and ruminating for the last little bit, um, over two things. One, what's my next step? Because I don't know what my next step is. I've got a few options when it comes to building things. I can continue to build it on Bubble and try and wrap it as a web app and put it on the App Store that way. I can switch platforms. I can go to like Draftbit, which I was looking into for a day or two, or flutterflow, try and go back to flutterflow. Or I could pay someone to do it again, which I feel like I'm never going to do. So I'm primarily leaning towards wrapping it on Bubble. But I've been thinking about that for the last week or so. The other thing that I've been thinking about for the last week or so is just the inherent problem of the idea of the app itself. For whatever reason, I've just felt less and less confident in the idea of the app in the last like week and a half. And so part of me has been thinking maybe I should make like an events app first where people can host events and put events in, and then add get users, because it's easier to get people onto an app to do things than onto an app to make friends. I think there's still kind of a stigma around that. So the idea would be to make the events app first, where you could just upload things that are happening in your area, and then after we have users, then release like this hidden feature almost, where it's like, hey, you're gonna say which things you're gonna go to, in like you're gonna express interest in these events, and if someone else has expressed interest in those events, you can see like the list of who that is. Like you can see, oh, these like 20 people in my area are also interested in going to the event. Maybe I want to sync up with them or hang out with them. I don't know. And that's primarily because I like the idea of making friends and finding friends as a couple online, but that app is only successful if there are already a lot of people on the app. So you either have to get a lot of people on and have that be a problem, or you get them on a different way, an easier way, which is through the events. And then once they're already on for the events, you say, hey, you're already on here to look for things to do. Why not find people to hang out with at those events? Which is kind of the flip flop of what we had initially thought of. We'd initially thought find friends and then do something with them, but what I've thought in the last week and a half or so was it might be easier to um, brain just sort of linked. It might be easier to get people on the platform with the events and then say, hey, you want to see people who are going to those events? Do you want to hang out with those people? Like, there you go. Because it's just inherently easier to get people on an app with the allure being here are things to do, rather than, hey, you're a lonely person, go find friends on our platform. So there's that. I've also thought in the last week, about like how I'm building the app. I am currently making it where two people validate a profile and they have this like joint account. And I'm now considering the option where it's just a friend finding app. So you've got the events, and then it's like, oh, hey, find friends. And in your profile, you're just going to say, are you like, am I in a relationship? Am I married or not? Or am I dating or not? Or am I single? And that's what I'm looking for. And then say, what kind of people are you looking for? Like, I'm looking for people who are in a relationship. I'm looking for people in this age range. I'm looking for people in this distance around me or whatever. It's essentially the same. The difference is you are now removing a barrier, which is you have to like you and your partner have this linked account that you share together. Now you could just make an account and say that you're married and put pictures of you and your spouse, or if you're dating, you and your partner on there, and then view other people in your area. And you would still put pictures of, I would hope, you and your partner if you guys are dating or if you're engaged or married or whatever. But it makes it a lot easier to build from like an engineering perspective, like building the actual app. So I had that thought, and it removes the barrier, so it makes it easier for people to do, and it introduces the option for single people. So if you have events, everybody wants to go to events, whether you're single or you're in relationships. Like everybody wants to do stuff. So when you hit the find the friends feature, I've now opened up the app to more than my initial target market. Like there's more people that we could hit. So that was kind of alluring and kind of interesting to me. I don't know if I'm gonna actually do that yet. I gotta just sit and think about it for a bit, but we'll see. Um, I guess the moral of the story for this is you can get caught waiting for exciting things a lot. Like I started out the app with a business partner who was going to program all of it, and then I waited for him to do stuff. We waited like 6 months or something before, maybe 9 months before I decided I'm tired of waiting, so I'm going to pay someone to do it. Then I waited like, you know, a month between building, and then 3 months after that we were testing things and trying to fix bugs, and I was just waiting for that to be done. Never really got where I wanted it to, and it was kind of a waste. And then I started looking at building things myself, and I built the initial prototype on Bubble. Then Bubble released this announcement like, "Oh, we're gonna have this mobile platform that we're gonna release," and so I'm like, "Oh, I'll just wait for that." And so I waited like another 9 months for that to be released, and now that it's released, it's crap, and I can't use it. So um, I could decide to wait until that platform gets better because once Bubble figures their stuff out, that will be a pretty powerful platform, but it's just not yet. But the moral of the story is you can lose a lot of time in business waiting for something. You can always find something to wait for. Like, oh, the design's not right yet. Oh, this isn't right yet. Oh, the whatever. And I felt like I knew this going into it, but my approach now is I think I just got to finish something and get something to people, whether it be the events app or whether it be the friends app or whatever. Um, I think it'd be really easy to do. Well, it'd be easier to build something and hack it than to try and like wait or to pivot again and try a different platform or do something else. Basically, I think what I've learned is if you're climbing a mountain and you start bushwhacking to get to the top of the mountain, halfway through your bushwhack, you don't turn around and stop bushwhacking. You just keep bushwhacking until you get there. So I'm there right now where I could either wait and come back down to the trail and try and take a trail that I don't even know if it goes to the top of the mountain, or I could just keep bushwhacking, looking at the top of the mountain and say, I'm just going to bushwhack in that direction until I get there. So that's where I'm at now. As I'm saying this, I actually just am having an idea right now. Maybe I'll build the events app, and then I will have a little find friends icon, and people will click on it, and it will say, like, want to see people who are going to events? Click here to request this feature, and then people can request that feature. And once I get a certain feature request, we build that as a maybe as its own platform instead of as like a component of the same platform. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I think an events feature would be a little bit easier to build, and there's a lot I could do myself. Like I could go out and find things that are happening and then put them on the platform manually myself and just say here are things that you could do in this area. Then, to some degree, users don't need other users on the platform. Once I have 100 events, then users can kind of just look and say, "Oh, like that's a cool event," and one user can really enjoy that app. So we'll see. Maybe pivoting, maybe doing other stuff. Still on the goal of this find friends with couples. It's just maybe we're going to flip my initial idea where we do events first, then find people instead of find people and then do things with them. So that's where I'm at. I'm pretty burnt out these days, and it's going to get even worse because I just side note, I'm going from sales and organization to product, and I'm officially in the product office doing product management. So that'll be fun, and I've got a really good VP of engineering who I'm going to be mentoring under basically, and building a whole new product for our company. So all of that experience will tie to what I'm doing with pairs and with this app that we're building. But um, it is going to be a lot more work, I think. So I'm going to be burnt out from my job, and I'm just burnt out from 2 years of working on this stupid app and going nowhere. It's just tiring. So yeah, that's where we're at. I still have to edit together the other videos that I did and then edit this one. So it's going to be a while before these are up. But that's where we're at. We're still moving. We're still going. It's just it's slow going, and I'm learning things the hard way. So thanks for watching. Keep in touch. Follow, subscribe, whatever, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.